right now on 15 News Now.
I'm Store Tracker Chief Meteorologist Dustin Kopp. How long will these summertime thunderstorms last? I'll let you know.
There's good news coming out of the Federal Reserve. Also, a fugitive featured on a national TV show has been captured. Plus, the growing use of domestic drone surveillance is calling for debate. 15 News Now starts right now.
Coverage you can count on. 15 News Now starts now.
There's good news coming this week from the Federal Reserve. Thanks for joining us for 15 News Now. I'm Fred Dawkins. Our top story, Chairman Ben Bernanke says the economy is improving and doesn't need as much help from the government as in recent years. Gary Lane has more.
Federal Reserve Board Chairman Ben Bernanke is optimistic about an improving U.S. economy. But he says the Fed will take a go-slow approach. It will continue the stimulus, including the purchase of $85 billion worth of bonds each month. But Bernanke says as the economy continues to improve, the stimulus efforts will be scaled back.
We will continue to reduce the pace of purchases in measured steps through the first half of next year, ending purchases around mid-year.
While unemployment remains high, currently at 7.6%, Bernanke and other economists believe the rate could drop to as low as 6.5% sometime next year. Bernanke says an increase in new home construction and sales have boosted the economy.
The housing sector, which has been a drag on growth since the crisis, is now obviously a support to growth. It's not only creating construction jobs, but as house prices rise, increase household wealth.
Higher interest rates will have an impact on consumers, making it more costly to buy cars and homes. Mortgage rates already have risen 0.5% since May and are now above 4%. They haven't been this high in more than a year. Sarah and David Turnbull are prospective first home buyers in Newberry Park, California. They want to get in before the rates go higher.
People are really thinking that makes a big difference in my monthly payment and what I can afford.
That's because every 1% increase in home mortgage rates makes owning a home about 10% more costly. A 1% increase means the monthly payment on a $500,000 home would increase more than $239. As for car loans, the higher rates mean it will cost Sarah and Jeff an additional $200 per year to replace their current vehicle. The upside is Americans will earn higher interest on their savings accounts and CDs.
That was Gary Lane reporting for 15 News Now. One potential juror in former Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman's second-degree murder trial belongs to the National Rifle Association. Another says she was the victim of a violent crime that is constantly on her mind. And a third is a competitive arm wrestler. Prosecutors and defense attorneys are trying to choose 6 jurors and 4 alternates for the trial in the death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Miami-Dade County officials say they won't charge a 19-year-old in the fatal shooting of an unarmed burglar. The announcement came Wednesday after prosecutors concluded they couldn't prove Jordan Beswick's guilt under Florida's Stand Your Ground self-defense law. While Collier County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Billy Jones' quick reaction saved the life of a 4-year-old preschool child who was choking on an undetermined foreign object on Monday. The child was not breathing when the child's mother frantically gave the child to Jones seeking assistance. He was able to grab Sapira McKinney from her mother and dislodge the foreign object. The object cleared the child's throat, and Waukalla EMS arrived on the scene to transport the child to the hospital for observation. After doctors determined that the child was in no danger from the foreign object, she was released from the hospital. On Wednesday, Sapira's mother presented a special Hero Award to Jones in Sheriff Charlie Creel's office. Now, Dustin Kopp is here with a look at our first forecast for the Big Bend. Dustin?
Good evening, everybody. Temperatures across the area on the warm side and a possibility of some thunderstorms this evening. 85 degrees at 7 p.m., down to about 80 at 9 p.m., and by midnight down to 76. More details on your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Coming up on 15 News Now, a fugitive featured on a national TV show has been captured. That story coming up on 15 News Now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job,
I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
You're watching 15 News Now with Fred Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 15 News Now continues.
A fugitive featured on the TV show America's Most Wanted has been caught after authorities say he failed to move over for an officer conducting a traffic stop. The Florida Highway Patrol reports that a deputy pulled someone over in Brevard County, but Brett Boyer didn't move into another lane. In Florida, the law requires drivers to move out of the lane closest to an emergency vehicle or a wrecked car. The trooper said Boyer seemed nervous and gave a false name. Under a handheld fingerprint scanner, the trooper realized that Boyer was wanted in West Virginia for child pornography. Boyer, a former high school guidance counselor, was arrested in 2010 and has been on the run after failing to appear in court for his sentencing. His case aired on the TV show last fall. A group of retired crash investigators featured in the new documentary TWA Flight 800 claimed the cause of the 1996 plane crash near Long Island was covered up. TWA Flight 800 exploded over Long Island shortly after taking off from John F. Kennedy International Airport. It killed 230 people. A 4-year-long investigation concluded that the cause of the blast was an exploding fuel tank. But now 6 retired investigators from TWA, the National Transportation Safety Board, and the Airline Pilots Association says the final report was falsified.
The general consensus is it was either a terrorist attack that they wanted to ignore or an accident as a result of military operations that went wrong and they didn't want to acknowledge responsibility for it.
The investigators say they have radar and forensic evidence to prove the explosion came from outside the airplane. They're calling for federal investigators to reopen the case. Florida advocates for immigration reform who have stood by U.S. Senator Marco Rubio are doing a double take this week after the Gang of 8 member proposed an amendment to his own immigration bill, requiring that immigrants demonstrate proficiency in English before they can secure legal immigrant status. Pablo De Leon is a national AFL-CIO field representative in Florida and says no one expected this from Senator Rubio.
We're very surprised and disappointed, to say the least, at the position that he's taken, especially when he was one of the original Gang of 8 to help put this bill together.
Rubio also joined Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah to propose amendments that would require undocumented immigrants to pay back taxes on any wages they might have earned. And the pair also proposed curbing immigrants' ability to access health care tax credits and subsidies and limiting their access to Social Security benefits upon retirement. Opponents of those moves point out that many immigrants already pay income taxes. Melissa McGuire-Mahana knows firsthand the frustrations of navigating the current immigration process. She says her husband, Hector, spent 28 years and $34,000 to gain legal status in the U.S. She believes the process should be streamlined and less confusing.
I wonder now how many other Hectors are out there. To continue to add more obstacles, it's just not fair.
McGuire-Mahana now works to help other immigrants with groups like Fight for Florida. Well, 2 people are dead in a Miami Beach apartment fire that also injured 2 firefighters. The fire broke out around 1 p.m. on Thursday morning, 1 o'clock Thursday morning at St. George Apartments. Officials say firefighters found heavy smoke and flames coming from the building when they arrived. One of the victims was dead at the scene. The other died at Jackson Memorial Hospital. An injured firefighter was treated and released from the hospital. The second firefighter was treated at the scene. 15 families were displaced by the fire, and the American Red Cross is assisting as an investigation continues. The growing use of domestic drone surveillance is calling for debate. That story coming up on 15 News Now.
Health insurance update. This just in for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. The recent health care bill will not take effect until at least 2014, leaving families and individuals lacking health insurance with no immediate solution to their concerns. Meanwhile, medical problems continue to be the #1 cause of bankruptcies. Here's the good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans, and yes, uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call the number on your screen now, and in less than 10 minutes, you could receive a choice of affordable plans from the Hotline Network. This is not a discount card. You will have access to doctors, hospitals, dental care, infant care, and emergency services. Call the Health Insurance Hotline now and get you and your family covered today.
Call 800-794-0825. That's 800-794-0825. Call now.
FBI Director Robert Mueller told Congress that the growing use of domestic drone surveillance calls for a debate on how and when they should be used. Mueller said the FBI currently uses unmanned aerial vehicles on a limited basis and only on stationary objects. But concerns over the use of airspace and the threat to privacy should be addressed as drones become more present. Mueller said the FBI is developing guidelines for drone use, but the topic is worthy of debate and perhaps legislation in the future. Well, lawmakers are putting many eggs in the farm bill basket in Washington, and one of them could affect the welfare of farm animals, worker safety, and environmental protection in Florida and around the country. Now, the amendment would prevent Florida from enforcing its state law banning pig gestation crates in which animals are raised in extremely close quarters. The amendment is sponsored by Iowa Republican Representative Steve King. Paul Shapiro with the Humane Society of the United States says King's amendment works against progress already made for more humane treatment of animals.
Many major pork buyers like McDonald's have said that they too want to adopt similar policies within their own pork supply chains, and Congressman King wants to erase those state laws like Florida's.
Supporters of King's amendments, called the Protect Interstate Commerce Act, say having different laws for each state make it difficult for large-scale producers. The U.S. House is expected to take up the Farm Bill and King's amendment on Wednesday. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says Tropical Storm Barry is bearing down on Mexico's Gulf Coast, poised to make landfall within hours. Forecasters say the Atlantic hurricane season's second tropical storm is drenching areas in its path with between 3 and 10 inches of rain.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. Cloudy skies out there right now, and 87 degrees is our current temperature. Feels like 92, though it's on the warm side. Current dew point 70 with 55% humidity and a west wind at 2 miles per hour. Throughout the area, we are going to continue to see warm temperatures, possibly some showers and thunderstorms for the next several days. Also, and hot, humid times, like I was saying, with those warm temperatures, and it looks like summer is definitely sticking around throughout the area. We do have hot, humid times over the area, possibly some thunderstorms to the southern tip of the Panhandle. We also have some thunderstorms likely in the northern portion of Florida. We will see the isolated thunderstorms here in the Big Bend. Here's your forecast. If you're going out and about this evening, isolated thunderstorms, 85 degrees at 7 p.m. By 9 p.m., 80 degrees, and by midnight, 76. For tonight, dipping down to about 69 degrees for your overnight low. Thunderstorms likely. Then for tomorrow, 90 degrees with more thunderstorms, southeast wind 5 to 10. Looking ahead the next several days, Your weekend forecast looks like this. We will be seeing temperatures near 90 on Saturday. Thunderstorms likely. Thunderstorms continue on Sunday, high at 87. 88 in thunderstorms on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, isolated thunderstorms. Temperatures near 90 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and around 88 degrees on Thursday of next week. Don't forget to get the latest weather information at our website, WSFD15.com.
Mom! Mom?
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
I'm Stacy Johnson. Ready for a recipe that'll feed a family of four a feast for less than 15 bucks? See what's cooking just ahead on Money Talks News.
We all want to get the most for our money, especially when it comes to food. So how about a meal for a family of four for less than 15 bucks? This week's Frugal Family Feast features a scrumptious potato soup with sausage and onion.
I'm Stacy Johnson, and my friend here, Chef Ray, he's a resident chef of Publix Aprons Cooking School. He is going to make a feast that he's going to feed a family of four for less than 15 bucks. What do you got for me today, Chef Ray?
I have a sausage, onion, and potato soup.
Sounds fabulous. What goes in it?
We start off with some mild Italian sausage, some onions, potatoes, water, Italian seasoning, spinach, and then finish it off with a little bit of cream.
Sounds great. Throw it together for me.
All right, so I have some sausages that are already browned. Yep. We added some onions, softened those up. We're gonna add our potatoes. We add some water. All right, a little bit of spinach.
Okay.
Some Italian seasoning. We cook that for about 10 minutes, and then comes the fun part. We blend it.
My part.
That's
okay.
Your part.
So I just put this in here. This is when it becomes soup.
Yeah.
So how long do you do this for?
Well, you're looking for the consistency you want, maybe a little bit watery.
So I can see it's already starting to become soup. But since we don't have all that much time, I will go ahead and show you what it looks like when it's done. Let's see what it tastes like. Now that is some fabulous soup. It really is. You guys need to get the recipe for this. Go to MoneyTalksNews.com. Just do a search for Frugal Family Feast. It is delicious. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
As Stacy said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website, WSFD15.com, and click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu. We all know that bubbles can be fun. What if you could get great giant bubbles that glow? Our science guy Jason Lindsay with Hooked on Science shows us how by using a few ingredients from around the house.
My science helper Madigan and I are playing with some bubbles. Typically we do that in the summertime outside when the temperatures warm up. How would you like to make super bubbles that glow? You can by using a few ingredients from around the house. All you need is some dishwashing liquid, some glycerin, which you can get at your local department store, and a glow stick. Parents, you should only do this part of the experiment. Crack your glow stick, mix the two ingredients, it starts to glow, then cut the top off and pour it into your bubble solution. Now, I made a wand here by using an old coat hanger. Madigan has a special wand over there as well, and she's having fun blowing that. Now, here's a giant super bubble. Ready? Take a look at that. Isn't that awesome? And if it's completely dark, unlike the studio here, they will glow just a little bit. We're creating giant bubbles, and of course you can get all the details on this by going to our award-winning website. That website is hookedonscience.org.
Go to WSFD15.com and click on Hooked on Science under the Lifestyles menu for this experiment and others that might get you and your entire family hooked on science.
I can't travel. I can't sit for very long. I can't stand for very long. I can't sleep. It's difficult to find any joy. It's unbelievable how just a few months of taking Nopalea, how it's changed my life, how much better I feel. You just get a total appreciation, new appreciation for life that I haven't had in so long.
With over 8 million bottles of Nopalea sold, we know it will work for you. Pick up the phone and call now. Learn how to get your 32-ounce bottle of Nopalea free. You'll also receive the Secret Killer Special Report that talks about the dangers associated with inflammation and an audio CD that explains the science behind the Nopal Superfruit.
I just know it worked, and it helped me, and it'll help you too.
Get on the road to wellness now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
This is Sports Zone.
Desmond Jennings homered, Jeremy Hellickson pitched 6 strong innings, and the Tampa Bay Rays ended their drought at Fenway Park, beating the Red Sox 6-2 Wednesday night. The Rays had scored a total of 5 runs in losing their first 5 games this season at the ballpark, including a doubleheader sweep on Tuesday, during which they managed a pair of runs on 10 combined hits. Jose Molina and Evan Longoria each had 3 of Tampa Bay's 15 hits, and the Rays ended a 3-game losing streak with their second win in 8 games. Cody Ross hit a 3-run pinch hit home run in the 8th inning to spoil an outstanding outing by Miami's young Jose Fernandez, and the Arizona Diamondbacks held off the Marlins 3-1 Wednesday. Fernandez retired 14 in a row before walking 2 of the 3 batters he faced in the 8th. He was relieved by left-hander Mike Dunn, who gave up the home run to Ross on a 1-2 pitch. Arizona starter Trevor Cahill left after a line drive bruised his right hip in the first. John Colementor allowed 1 hit in 6 innings of relief. The San Antonio Spurs are hoping the road to recovery from an incredible collapse in Game 6 goes through their stomachs. After blowing a 5-point lead with 28 seconds to play that prevented them from winning their 5th championship, the Spurs held a team dinner to try to refocus. Manu Ginobili says he can't remember the Spurs ever suffering a tougher loss than they did in Game 6. And that's Today in Sports.
Thanks for joining us on 15 News Now. And remember, if you see news happen or you have a story of interest you think would interest our viewers, you can email us at WSFD15.com and just click on the email link. Have a good evening, everybody. God bless.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.
Mom! Mom? Oh.
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family. So I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.